Hi, I did my case on race and gender-based discrimination. A little bit about my case is Wendy is a 2-year-old girl who wants to play soccer during gym class and for her school team, but she is faced with stereotypical comments from her teacher and classmates. Ultimately, in the end, she is not allowed to try out for her school's team because the teacher believes that she is just too good and that girl should not play soccer. So I did do the interpersonal bias incident reading. So I did break it down a little bit differently than the video, but I did also include the graph. So I'll be sharing both of those. So identify bias inequalities. Sorry, Ms. Miller's comments and actions seem to be rooted from expected bias and stereotypes towards Hispanic community as well as gender stereotypes. It did also suggest to look at the perspectives, so I did include those. We know that Ms. Miller's are very from bias and stereotypes. Mr. Jones is the principal, and we just kind of from his perspective see that he didn't really do much. Wendy, what she experienced, and her mother, that she wants her to receive an equal education, and students was that they did not let her participate and also made stereotypical comments. um, Equitable and just outcomes. So, two that I really thought were creating for gym class would be multiple groups, kind of a rotation for all students to play, for it to be fair and inclusive. And then for the school soccer team would be a higher level team and an entry level team. Some challenges and opportunities would it be parents might reflect their bias to their children, so this could be really difficult to tackle in a classroom. And then for this could be a really great learning opportunity for students to be educated on different cultures, different races, and things that they're making comments about. So I think it's a really great opportunity. Immediate and long-term solutions. So immediately would be like addressing the comment, stopping it, making the student is okay, and stopping any exclusion. So kind of in Wendy's case, the teacher should have gone up to the kids, corrected their comments, and included Wendy in soccer. And then long term would be addressing all the comments again, consequences, educating students, reassuring the student is okay in the long run. So, maybe a week later, the teacher might check up on her or set up counselor meetings, as well as create a plan for student if it is as severe for Wendy or for students who experience something like Wendy. Deconstruct and transform. This is the graph I was talking about the video. So Wendy's voice and her mother's are included, but not Miss Miller's voice because she is the one who kind of was supposed to report the incident and did not. Purpose to avoid future discrimination based on gender and race, create an inclusive classroom with possibilities and success for all. Barriers, personal bias, and stereotypes, they could be stemmed from incorrect representation of groups and misinformation. This is where I see the benefit of students being able to learn and use this as a learning opportunity, and to also, remind students that they all can be successful and that they all should be included. Transformation, educate students on bias, that there are consequences. Teachers are role models of wanted behavior, resources good for students who have dealt with discrimination, counseling meetings, personal plan, and new policies. Impact students, addressing and holding students accountable, safe place, less person for students to report any incidents. Um, this is a little bit about my action plan. So, for Wendy's case, I do believe that her initial not being allowed to try out for sports or soccer would initially just, fix that. So, allowing her to play tryouts, and then for kind of just the rest of the comments and everything she experienced, I think that some activities that would really help her or even other students in the school who may feel unseen or not included would be clubs for mental health, multiple teams at different levels, and clubs for culture. This will also help students be educated, not just as in like someone teaching them, but learning from like activities and groups. So clubs would be really useful there. Strategies: teachers are advocates for inclusive practices and cultures. Educate students. School assemblies: that's another way students can learn. So people responsible will be teachers, counselors, psychologists, principal, and other staff who are required to report and then investigate. Evaluation, so training for teachers, check up on students who have been affected, survey on how students feel at school after discrimination. Also, the training for teachers, like in one of our past ed classes, bias and stereotypes are talked about. So I think that teachers should not go with any. So I think that the training could be kind of a reminder of what they learned in college, and just making sure that their actions are reflecting no bias. And yeah, here is a little bit more of like my action plan written down, so kind of more based for Wendy's would be Mr. Miller needs to be fired. Um, an educator should be a safe person for students to report any incidents, and students who participated in it also I believe should be suspended for 3 days just to really reflect on their actions and educate themselves on stereotypes. And yeah, thank you for listening.